I'm I'm doing awesome, man. How are you? Yeah, sure. Joe Hilo, can you hear me? How you doing today, bud? I think he's let's get the chat going as well. Let's hit the like button, comment, questions.
Hello, Jahirul. Can you hear me now? And you, Mark, can you still hear me?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and Jahirul, can you hear me now?
Nice watering.
Yeah, I just want to make sure that you can hear me before we go on, because this stuff here is top secret. If you miss out here, and then you're gonna lose.
Big time.
Yeah, you're gonna
Big
lose big
time.
time, big time.
That is a big fact. Big fact.
Look, the idea of this live is to talk about the strategies that we have talked about on Friday last week. That is what we're doing here. So we're trying to show you if there are any questions, and then we can answer it just live in here. But the technical stuff here at the background is also quite a difficult one. Let me just, yeah, there we go. And I remember in this week, Mark, that there were two like good trades for me, or winners, two winners for me. Um, it wasn't like runners or anything, just two winners. And then, do you remember what you asked me when I already told you the trades were winners, and it paid, yeah, it made money. But do you remember what it is you asked me?
Yeah, for me, I always want to know were they good trades? Not in terms of runners, like you say, but um, did they meet all the criterias, all the rules? Um, was it a trade that you should be taking? Right, that's extremely important. So
Yeah, but I already told you that the trades had won. I made money on the
yeah,
trade, so
it's a numbers game, right? It's not about winning. Um, I think it's important for us to work towards get the wins and losses out of the game. It's a bad behavior, right? We don't want to think in that sense of wins and losses. Um, it's more important for us to follow the plan, as you know, um, and the rules that goes with that plan, the strict rules at that, right? And and did the trade meet the criterias? Did it abide with the rules that we have in place, right? Did it meet the exact rules before we took this trade? So that's more important than anything. So if you can actually do that, then of course, um, you 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 70% already um, on the upside, right? And I think that's one of the most important thing that young traders missing out on. They worry too much about getting somewhat fast when they driving something that's slower. All right, so just take your time. For me, it's all about, did it meet those criteria? Am I going outside of my rules to take this trade? Then that's a bad idea, um, in my opinion. So it's never about the wins and the losses. The win will come if you do the right thing. If you truly is committed, um, the wins will come. So never have to worry about them.
And what do you think, how long should a guy be trading? Is there a point that when he should ever give up?
I think that is truly up to the person, right? I think if you love something, well, first of all, let me just say this: if you truly believe in your abilities, right, that you can actually make this work, that's the first thing. You should believe that you can actually make it work, right? And also know why you trade. That's an important fact. You got to understand, why are you doing this? Are you doing it because you want fast money, or are you doing it because this market? There has to be a purpose, a rhyme and reason why you actually trade. And I think if you have that, I think it's more you're more inclined to continue with it, right? But there's not a time limit to when you should be doing this, or unless you set one for yourself. But I think if you do that, you setting yourself up for failure, right? If I don't make this work in 2 years, I'm going to quit. Yeah, that's just the psychology aspect of it, especially when that time is fastly approaching, because it's going to take time. Nothing worth working for happen overnight,
Yeah.
right? Uh, it's definitely going to take time, and if you're not willing to invest time to make it work, then you're in the wrong business. Be a garbage man or something, right? Which is nothing wrong with that. My dad was a garbage man at one point in his life, I believe. Um, it's not the end of the world. Just there's a lot of million trades out there. There's a million trades out there that you could get into. Just choose something else, right? But I think if you truly is committed, right, to the craft, and not only commitment, you need the cousin as well too. That goes with commitment is consistency, right? Um, there has to be consistency to back up those commitment. And I think if you can do that, and you give yourself time to learn, and you truly put the time in, then you will be okay. But uh, a mentorship is it's quite important. Um, I remember for me, my first 4 years, and I actually went to a school to learn how to trade. The one of these top school to learn how to trade. But for 4 years, I struggled, right? Because uh, I didn't have uh, I don't want to say the resources, um, but the actual mentor, the one-on-one, because you're going to have a million and one question, you know, and you need somebody that's that's knowledgeable, that's been in the game for some time, that kind of seen a lot of things that happen in the market to kind of help you with answering questions. Because I was spending hours and hours. Because when I finished with that school that I paid thousands and thousands of dollars for, um, you know, once I was done, they just said, "Hey, take care," right? So I was pretty much on my own at that point, which is suck, but that's just the way it goes. You pay thousands and thousands of dollars for something you would think, hey, um, there will actually be someone to um, hold your hand, but certainly there isn't.
Yeah.
So a mentor is important to make this work. So if you do everything in your power, you have a mentor, you commit 120%, and you consistent each and every day, you work towards it. You have a plan. You're not burning yourself out. I think you'll be fine. But there shouldn't be a time limit, to my opinion, to when you should make this work because you're putting extra pressure on yourself. Remember, the market will would automatically, you know, uh, the psychology aspect of it, particularly, would put so much pressure on you because you do have a lot of guys out there who, flashing, you know, European car, luxury cars, and hey, I got this from trading, and that's not the truth. But and you have those type of pressure, on you to for you to make it work too, so you could kind of live that kind of life. Um, so you don't want that extra pressure to say, hey, I have a year to make this work. I got 2 years to make it work. Then you're doing it for the wrong reason, I believe. You should just let it take its course, keep working hard each and every day. But most importantly, find you a mentor, a good mentor, someone who genuinely want to see you succeed, want to see you get to the next level and grow in your career. That's vital.
Okay, so you think never giving up is a good thing for some, but
For some, like I know for myself and you, I couldn't, you know, that's I think that's the end of the road. Well, I don't know if I want to say the end of the road, but maybe that's the wrong choice of words. I for me, I would never quit, right? I would just because it's you got to think about trading in this way, right? This is really the only. Um, I don't want to call it a job either because it's not a job for me, right? So, but this is the only. All right. Well, I use the word job until I find a better word, right? Profession. How about that? This is the only profession you can actually go into where there's not a cap, right? Because if you're in a corporate job, there is a cap, right? You get to a certain amount where they just say you can't get no more raises, right? We can't afford to pay you any more for that position that you're currently in, right? And in most cases, you have to go to an actual location to that job. With trading, you can all you need is an internet connection and a laptop,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
That's it. You could be anywhere in the world. You could live in an island where it's sunny each and every day and make as much money as possible. You have no cap, you have no boss, you have no one that's telling you, what to do and what not to do. Um, and the rewards, if you actually stay focused long enough, work hard at this enough. Again, as I stated before, get you a nice mentor, somebody who wants to see you succeed, genuinely wants to help you. You could practically change your life. You could live a life that you'd never imagined. Eventually, with time, of course.
yeah.
Um, so,
What do you think about this? The different types of people here, like if the power of being able to, write your own paycheck every single day. Every day you can decide, look, what it is, how much it is, how much money it is that you want. Now, isn't that power, detrimental to
it's,
some?
of course, there's absolutely nothing like it, right? So there's nothing like it, and that's the reason why I said there's nothing like this profession. And I use myself as an example. Um, the flexibility that I'm able to have through trading, right? Where I could just pick up in the middle of the day while my kids is at school at daycare, and I could actually just leave at any time without having to reach out to somebody and say, "Hey, can I take an hour break or 2 hour break or take the day off?" Or if I need to go to vacation for 2 weeks, right? I'm not reporting to anybody. Um, I'm not having to ask to go on vacation. I just go, and while I'm on vacation, I could wake up and still make money, right? That type of flexibility is it's you will pay millions for, right? If you could. So, the power of making as much as you want to make, it's up to you, but it's not about how much can you make. You also will will lose, give some back too. You just got to be strategic in doing so, right? So it's not all about winning. So that's the reason why I always take the wins out of the equation. um, but focus on the process. If you focus on the process, the wins would automatically come, and how much you can make would automatically happen. You'll just see your account grow and grow and grow. But it's all about the process.
Okay. Mark, can you see my screen at all there?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
can.
because there might be something to look at here, New Zealand dollar versus United States dollar. If we,
Breaking that trend line.
yeah, and also if we look at the, you just mentioned process now. Let's see if this thing can follow some sort of process for us, yeah. Like
Absolutely.
like this one, we can see the prices are moving up here on our highest time frame or highest brick size, and then also moving up on a lower time frame, and then we are confirmed looking long here. And then we have a structure that could possibly break on this M6. So what do you think if we can manage a long on the M3?
Yeah, I think that could be a good opportunity, especially if it uh, give us the first one, two, three on the above the trend line
Okay.
on the long side. So what's the M? Let me see the M6.
Yeah, the M6 is
Oh yeah, but the process will be for it to um, close this last candle, close above the trend line. Right. Yeah, I like this. I like this one a lot. There you go. Yeah, look for the first one, two, three there.
okay. So we can have a look and see if that one works out. Look, there's four viewers, I think, at the moment. So if I can get 4 likes on this thing, it would be a lot.
Yeah,
It would
comment
be a
as
lot,
well,
yeah,
man.
and comment as well. What we're trying to do here is show strategies once a week, like Friday, show a strategy, something that could definitely help you in your trading, and then it can be used as a whole strategy as a whole, or you can just use pieces of it and build up your own strategy. But to be able to do this like on a weekly basis, I'm gonna need like questions and stuff and comments so that I know that it is something that we you'd want. The idea would be to then test the strategy I show you as a holistic idea, test it like with 100 trades, maybe on one of these strategy testing stuff, and then the YouTube live would be us just following the the process of that particular strategy for for the whole day. So the thing goes on live, and we just watch that strategy play out throughout the day. So it's Fridays is a new strategy, and then we talk about the strategy and test it over 100 trades or so, and then and then to physically trade this thing live in front of you to see how the strategy actually performs. Because the best way to know how it's going to perform is to actually see how it moves in a live market. But for that, we're going to need questions and things going on here. So the four people that's watching this now, we need that 4 likes. We want 100%. Yeah.
Let's get some questions in there too, psychology questions and trades questions, and let's get those in there. That's why we're here, to answer any question that you may have. But also, for anybody who doesn't recognize the chart, it's a Renko chart. Okay, we're using the Renko chart to for these trades. So just an FYI.
Yeah. We also use on this particular way of trading. We also use Heikenhashi and the classic charts as well. So I'm using you can see there is this Heikenhashi chart in front of you at the moment, and if we look at this trend line breaking here, so this is the lows here, and then prices are going up. How we use the Fibonacci in here as well is to just find some of the lows here to the all-time highs and see if we get any sort of Fibonacci that we are familiar with, to see if that's a good zone for us to actually take the trade. So from this low to that high, we can see there's nothing. But if we go higher up, and then we're getting somewhere, maybe this lows here, so we get something here at 23.6. So if we're in a long trend, and then we're using 23.6 as well. Otherwise, we totally ignore that and we just wait for the 38.2. But the secret to the Fibonacci, like I mentioned in the lessons previously, last week or 2 weeks ago, is that when you find your highs, then you're taking it from these swings all the way back to that same high. You're not using different highs here. It's just to the ultimate high. So from different lows to the ultimate high. So in this case here, it's, we're not getting a lot of confluence in this area here. So where we are here, our trade idea, this is that same area. We are looking for a setup to go long, but if you look at this here, we don't have a lot of confluence in this area where Fibonacci is concerned. So we would add a lot of more leverage if we're going to, if these were all um, Fibonacci lines that were matching up. Yeah, I hope that makes any sense. Yeah, as I said, any questions on this sort of using Fibonacci as a tool to help you, to guide you get the right profit points, you can ask me. Yeah. So the reason we were looking at this in the first place now is because we see here on Ikanashi that prices are making its higher highs and higher lows, and it's resting on an EMA here, 36 EMA. So this is like a trend following EMA. We can also draw a trend there. So we can see that it hasn't really touched it. So which means that our setup that we take, if we are going to take a setup here, we're not going to go all out on this one. But what we are waiting for here is just simply a move higher up and a move down. And then we're going to try and get into that trade long. So that's like basically a
Yeah.
process that we are following. And if it doesn't work out, it's a statistical game, a probability. Yeah, nothing to do with you, Mark. What have you got to say? It's got nothing to do with the guy when he's in the trade.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with you. I mean, as for again, as long as you follow your process, right? The process you know that works for you and it's been working, right? You know, I just take my trades based on my process. And from that, I don't really care what happened to the trade. You know, I don't want to sound cliche, but um, it doesn't matter if you do everything that's in within your rules, and the trade is the one that you was looking for because it met those particular criterias. Then at that point, I don't really have no feeling towards what happened if it's a win or loss because I don't look at the market like that. It's not about wins and losses for me. It's more about following the process. And I know if I follow my process to the T, it's not it's going to work to my favor. And here's the reason why it's important not to worry about the wins and the losses because I guess the probability game, right? So for us, Rustum and I, if if we take 10 trades and we can lose 7 out of the 10 and we most likely will still be ahead. So so that's why you can't worry yourself about the wins and losses. It's not about that. It's about the process and managing your risk. So if you win 3 out of the 10 and lost 7, you should still be in a good position, very good position, right? At least at the very least break even. The way I see it. And sometime too, you could lose 9 out of the 10, and that one overwrite all 9 of the losses. So that's why you can't worry yourself about the wins and losses because this is it's not about that. It's about the process and managing your risk, right? Do you agree?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Like with this one, just because we don't have everything lining up here on the higher time frames and on the Kanashi, we won't be, risking the
Slow
yeah,
risk.
we won't be risking the whole house on this one. But yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So the whole house sort of a thing, or not the whole house, but you know what I mean, the highest.
and that's what I meant. When we talked about um, managing risk and it's understanding your process will work for you. Because this trade didn't meet 100% of what we was looking for. So what do you do with the risk? You don't bet the whole house on it, right? You're full risk, and it's time to take a very low risk on this because you have to be cautious. So, but again, we plan for this, right? So our plan is what telling us, hey, it doesn't meet other criteria. So let's just kind of drop the risk to a lower risk versus the normal risk you would take on a trade that meets everything. So it's again, it's a business. It's not a hobby. So you got to try to do the best, whatever's best for your business. That's what trading is. You got to make it into a business and do what's best for it. Not necessarily what's best for you, because eventually, you know, um, if you don't do what's best for the business and you won't be in business for long, right? That's the old saying. So you got to take care of the business. If something doesn't make 100% sense for your business, then you got to be cautious about it. So it's the same thing with trading. If it's not the right 100% the right trade, then you might want to drop that risk to a lower risk, and then go from there. And one thing I noticed is that with traders is that when it comes to taking a lower risk trade, it's that when it end up working out, right? It's that feeling of man, I should have went I should have put the whole house. In the word of Rustum, I should have put the whole house in this trade, but not so fast, right? Because it doesn't matter how good a trade looks. Um, or how well you think it's going to work out, it's at the end of the day, it's still a 50-50 thing. It's never more than that. It's always a 50-50. It doesn't matter how good it look because
Yeah,
it could go south, go
yeah,
against you at any
yeah,
given
yeah,
time. So that's
yeah,
why
yeah,
um, you got to stick to a risk
yeah.
process.
And the way to stick to this process is to know what a good looking setup is. And that's only just for you because the market doesn't care if it's a good looking setup. The good looking setup or the perfect looking one is for you so that you are able to stick to your process next time so that you can know what it is you do all the time. Yeah, you can't be changing
Yeah,
strategies, or you can't be changing what is good and what is bad just because one of them don't work out. Yeah. So if you're gonna, I
yeah,
mean, if you're gonna be sitting with us here and trading alongside us, we'll be taking losers, and but based on historic data, I can confidently say you're going to be taking more winners than you are losers. Otherwise, we are you know not profitable.
absolutely. It's quality versus quantity, right? So it's not about sitting here taking a bunch of
Yeah,
trades. It's finding the quality
yeah,
ones, the one that
yeah.
looks um, good.
So it looks like we have still two more people that needs to like this video because we have 6 viewers and only 4 likes. So two of them are not liking it. I wonder why. Is it because I didn't brush my hair this morning?
Did you like the video? It might be you.
It's only 4 likes and 6 watching.
Get some get some comment on this
That would
question.
be
Some
that would
questions.
be so cool, man. That would be so cool. So, just again for those who just joined us here, we are trying to do a strategy video every Friday, which means showing you a new holistic strategy every Friday or every week. I'll try my best to do it, and it comes from traders better than I. It comes from
And
authors. It's an amalgamation of a whole lot of wise traders books that I've read and stuff, and then it might look complicated in the book, but then turning that strategy into a video seemed like a good idea. So that's what I want to do. And if there's enough views and likes and comments on and questions on the strategy, then we're going to test the strategy over 100 trades. And if we like what we see, the live, what you see here now, is going to be us testing it live for the whole day. So that is the idea of where I want to take um, this YouTube live thing because it's difficult thinking up content all the time. So I thought, look, we've got such a lot of knowledge on trading, but a lot of it comes off of YouTube, and which is all fine, but I want to try and get the stuff that are in trading books and then turn that thing into a video because not all of us are, we don't have a lot of time still to read you know books and stuff on the topic. If we can just have videos on everything, like the fractal strategy that was done earlier, maybe 2 weeks ago. That one was from Bill Williams. He created the indicators and all that. You can see the indicators here. If I go to these are fractals here. So this was one of the strategies. It was Bill Williams fractals, and then we used a starter strategy. It's particularly for beginners on how to trade, how to find out what a swing is and all that. So it's quite nice. I did get some questions on it through in my email, but I need more than that to go ahead and test this. I would like to test this thing out over the 100 trades, and then in our YouTube live, I would like to, in front of like at least 20 people, have a look at the real live performance of this particular strategy, because it might be the one that you like. It might be the one that you want to trade. Like if you find the one that you like, then it's going to be, it's a life-changing thing, because you're going to stick to it, you'll modify it, and you'll feel confident in trading that particular um, system. So back to my favorite system of the year so far is this the one where we are using the Renko charts together with the Heikinashi stuff. So this is the one that I like trading at the moment. Mark, do you have anything to add when it comes to finding the strategy that you would actually stick with? Is that valuable? Like finding the one. Like we've got a whole lot of various stuff going on here,
But
and
there's a
yeah.
there's a million. Sorry, there's a million. As you know, we've been in this game for quite some years now. There's a million and one strategies out there. I don't think it is important to find a strategy that matches your personality, right? Um, that's an important fact. You have it, and that goes for any strategy. You have to make it your own. At the end of the day, whether you learn it from us or you learn it from a book or you learn it from someone else, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, what's going to make the strategy work is you making it your own, right? By tweaking certain stuff that you learn, by seeing certain stuff in the market enough time to make adjustments, right? So for anybody that watches sports, um, it doesn't matter if it's boxing. When things get tough rounds or the second half of the fight, it's all about you making adjustment. Because the things that you was doing at the beginning may not be working because your opponent may figure out what you're doing. So you got to switch things up, right? So it's all about adjustment. Or it's the same thing for soccer, same thing for baseball or football, whatever the case may be. So you have to make this thing your own, and you're not going to be able to make any adjustment when it's necessary if it's not a strategy that you understand in your own way. There's a saying that goes, um, if you if you can't teach something in a way for everyone to understand it, then you're just quite not there yet, right? That's what makes a great teacher. You should be able to adjust to my way of learning, right? Because if you're teaching me as my mentor, as my teacher, you should be able to adjust to the way that I know how to learn. Everybody learn differently, right? Some people learn by seeing, some people learn by listening, some people learn by you actually taking their hand and help them with it, right? So it's about adjusting. You have to be able to adjust when things doesn't work because the market doesn't stay one way. It changes. It could change tomorrow, right? So what are you going to do, right? If that were to happen. So if you don't make the strategy your own, then you're not going to know how to adapt. So I just think I'm not going to say every strategy it from because ultimately that's what's going to make you comfortable, right? So
Yeah,
that's my take on
yeah, yeah. That's 100%. 100%. Let me have a look. Do we have any? Oh, we don't have any more questions there on it. So let me see. We are at it for about 40 minutes or so. I'm waiting on this particular setup, but now it's gone underneath the area where I'm happy. So it's a waiting game here for this one. So yeah, it's yeah. May
And
perhaps
also the
yeah, sorry.
no, I'm saying also the beauty as well too. The perks that come with this, you don't actually have to. We don't actually have to stay here. We choose to stay here because we love you guys so much, right? We don't have to stay here. We could actually set the robot because we know what we're looking for. You know, so and that's what I meant about making the strategy your own. When you can do that at this point, if we wasn't doing this live, we could have actually said the robot because we know exactly what we're looking for and tell it exactly what to do and then go on about our business, whether it's just go be with our kids or our girlfriends or if that's if you don't have kids or whatever the case may be and just let the trade does what it do. So that's another beauty. You don't have to stay at your desk all day long, right? It's knowing what you're looking for and set the robot to do that and move on, right? So
Yeah. So we are here to try and help you find a technique or something that you will be able to stick with, and that's the reason we are doing the strategies on a weekly basis and then testing them for 100 trades, and then if there's enough views, enough likes, enough comments, then we will trade that particular strategy in this YouTube live forum. Even 8 hours, for the whole day, let the thing just run, because yeah, so because it's a 24-hour game, so we can just test it throughout the period, and then you can see for yourself if you would be able to stick to something like that or not. So that's the idea on this one.
yeah, I think one factor to for us to keep in mind, you this is a personal opinion. Um, I don't think you ever going to find a strategy where you could stick with 100%, right? And here's why. Until you actually work on psychology, your own mind psychology, for you to be disciplined enough, and again believe in your ability, then you're always gonna hop around, and that's when things get bad when you just hop from strategy to strategy, right? It has a lot to do with the mindset. So I think it's important for you to work on your mindset first, and next, believe in your abilities that you can make this thing work. So, wise, uh, a mentor of mine called it the shiny object, right? Or the new thing in the block. Everybody loved the new thing in the block. Like, hey, it's a new strategy. Let me try this new strategy because it worked better than the one that I have. In actuality, it doesn't, right? It's the person that make the strategy work, right? By having the right rules put in place, understanding exactly what you're looking for within that strategy, and do the tweaks and the adjustments, right? If you could be disciplined enough to do those things, you're strong minded enough to do those things. I think you'll be fine. Um, I think Russ and I, if a strategy tested out 50% winners, 50% loser, I think we still could make money off it. So if you have a strategy that's 70%, um, 80%, you got a gold mine in your hand, right? So it has a lot to do with the managing the risk. So as you can see, there's a lot of factor that comes to play. So that's why it takes time to master those things. It takes time. So going back to what you asked here, it's to me it's not this. There shouldn't be a time limit to when this thing should work out for you because there's just so many different factors um, that you have to take account to.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. So yeah, Mark, we can I mean, continue our day as normal here, and we can come back with a new strategy video on Friday. But for now, I think we can just let them or let the viewers know that the most important thing is to trade safely and prosper.
Yes, sir. Agree.
Okay, then see you later, Mark, and bye bye, guys.
Have a good one, guys. Thanks for coming. Um, Take care.